Okay, today I'm taking you on a tour of the area where I grew up, which is also the area where I live now. This area is called Silver Spring, Maryland. However, right now I'm actually in Tacoma Park, Maryland, because the grocery store that I go to is right over the border from Silver Spring in Tacoma Park. So for the first few minutes, yes, we are going to be in Tacoma Park, but that's fine. They're basically the same place. And no, I don't really have any plans for where we are going today. We're just going to drive around a little bit and see where we end up. So, again, this is my local grocery store. This is where I do most of my shopping. I probably come here maybe 3 to 5 times a week, maybe actually more than that, because usually when I go grocery shopping, I don't buy very much. I usually just buy what I'm going to cook for the next 1 or 2 days. And I've been watching a lot of TikTok content from Europeans recently who are visiting the US for the World Cup. And my understanding is that the way I do shopping is actually more like the way that they do shopping. Because most people in the US do not go shopping as often as I do. I think most people usually go grocery shopping maybe just once a week. I don't know exactly, but that's my understanding. My schedule's a little bit different because I create content for social media and I don't have to be at work every day, so I can go shopping whenever I want. One thing that you'll probably notice throughout this video is that there's a lot of construction everywhere right now. And this is because in the area where I live, they're actually building a new light rail transit system, which is basically an above ground train. So that's why there's all these cones, there's lots of bumpy roads and weird stuff happening everywhere. Right now, I'm turning onto a road called Piney Branch. And if we take Piney Branch for maybe another 20-25 minutes, maybe not even that long, we will end up in Washington, D.C. But we're not going to go to D.C. today. And I don't really feel like waiting for this light to change, so let's take a little detour and go into this parking lot right here. So this is an international grocery store that I go to occasionally. It's called Best Way. I don't usually go here, but I do come here occasionally because they've got pretty good vegetables compared to the grocery store that I usually go to. Nothing really special to see here, just wanted to drive you all around a little bit instead of waiting at the red light. So now we are going to exit the parking lot. We're going to turn left carefully here. Two things I want you to notice right here. One, the car in front of me has their right turn signal on. Two, their license plate is from Washington, D.C. In Maryland, you can turn right at a red light. You just need to stop first, unless there's a sign that says no turn on red. So right now, this person should be going, but they're not. Probably because they're from DC and they don't know that in Maryland you can turn right on red. So I gave them a little honk, not a big one, just a little honk to let them know, and now we are going. All right, and that was a pretty long light, so I cut out about 90 seconds right there. But now we're continuing down Piney Branch towards Sliggo Creek Parkway, which some of you have definitely seen before because I've posted both pictures and videos from Sliggo Creek. But here you're going to be able to see what it looks like when we drive through it. Okay, and now we are making a right onto Sligo Creek Parkway. So, a parkway is a road that goes through a park. A creek is basically the same thing as a stream. In some places, they might say that there's a difference between a creek and a stream, but in everyday conversation, most people use them to mean the same thing. There are also a lot of cyclists here. Cyclists meaning people who ride bicycles. And that guy was actually on the wrong side of the road coming around that curve. I don't know why he was doing that, but that was quite dangerous. And as we come up to this intersection, you can see that there's a lot more orange because this is another street where they've been doing construction for the last several years. Here, I'm actually going to drive right over the train tracks before making a left. This brick building up here on the right is a middle school. It used to be a high school, but that was actually a long time ago, before I even went to high school. So I've never gone to this school, but I will take you to my high school later in this video. We won't go inside, but I'll show you what it looks like from the outside. And I just want to be clear right there when I say my high school, I have never worked at a high school. So when I say my high school, I just mean the high school where I went to high school. All right, and now we are arriving right on the edge of downtown Silver Spring. So, downtown Silver Spring is much more urban. It's more like a city, whereas where we have been for most of this video has been more suburban, meaning around houses. So, yeah, now we're in downtown Silver Spring, but I'm going to jump forward a bit because I don't want to make you wait at this light with me for the full 2 minutes that I waited. Okay, and we're moving again. You can see when these cars turn left up here that, again, there are train tracks because the new train system is actually going to go right through downtown, through several big intersections. We'll see how that works because the drivers around here are not great. And I was originally going to turn right up here, but I decided to keep going straight because I'd like to show you guys our metro. So the metro is basically the subway system that we have in Washington, D.C., parts of Maryland, and parts of Virginia. And I'm calling it a subway system just so you know what I'm talking about. But when we hear subway, we usually think underground. And although some of the stations here are underground and some of the tracks are underground, a lot of it is also above ground. However, as I continue driving, I sort of realized that you're not really going to see very much because you can't really see that much of the metro from the road. However, we still get to see a bit more of downtown, so it's all good. I also forgot that where you actually would be able to see a little bit more, we now have these ugly blue fences up. And I think that these are because of construction that they are doing for the bus terminal. On the left here is where the metro station and the bus terminal are, although you can't really see them that well, you can see the train tracks overhead. And this is another road where if we go straight for just maybe 90 seconds more, we'll be in Washington, D.C. However, I don't want to go to D.C. right now, so at this intersection we are going to make a U-turn. After making this U-turn, the metro is going to be on our right, and although you aren't going to be able to really see the metro, you will see a mural of penguins riding the metro. I don't know what the story is about why there are penguins, but I just know that that's been there all of my life. This big building up here on the right used to be the headquarters for the Discovery Channel. It's not the headquarters for the Discovery Channel anymore, but it was for, I guess, most of the time that I was a teenager. And up here we have my least favorite intersection in all of Silver Spring. Ooh, perfect example. Look at that. But that's not usually the problem. Usually the problem is that people going the same way as you don't understand which lane they're supposed to be in and then try to change lanes halfway through the intersection, almost hitting you. Up here on the left, we've got a live music venue called the Fillmore, as well as a really nice Thai dessert cafe called Sweeteria. And although the whole Silver Spring area is really big, downtown Silver Spring is actually not that big, so now we are on the way out of downtown. And now we're just driving down a highway, which is called Route 29. Depending which part of it you're on, it might be called Route 29, it might be called Colesville Road, or it might be called Columbia Pike. And as we wait at this intersection, I just want to ask you all to leave a comment and let me know what you think about this video. Do you find it useful? Do you find it interesting? Do you find it boring? Am I speaking too fast? Am I speaking too slowly? Just let me know what you think, because this is my first time making one of these in a while, and if you find it interesting, then I will definitely make some more of them. The building just across the intersection on the right is now a restaurant, but it was originally built in the 1800s as a toll house, a place where they would collect tolls from people paying to use the private road that was here, which is now a big highway. This right here is the intersection of Colesville Road and Sligo Creek Parkway. So if we had turned left or right there, we would have been able to see more of Sligo Creek. However, right now we are going straight because I want to take you to my high school. And starting about right here is the way that I would walk to school. So for 4 years, every day, I would walk from about right here until we get to the high school. But I'm going to fast forward a little bit so that you don't have to watch all this. And on the right here is where I went to high school. It's at the corner of a really big intersection, so we are actually going to pass it right now and then turn right before pulling into the student parking lot so we can get a little bit closer. But again, we are not going to be able to go inside. Up here, I tried to turn into the parking lot, but then I noticed that that was an entrance for school buses only. The reason I didn't know that is that I've actually never driven into this parking lot before because when I went to high school here, I didn't have a car. But anyway, there is an entrance right here down by the sports fields. So these are the fields where the high school students play sports. And for the students who have cars, this is the way that they drive into the parking lot every day. Again, I didn't have a car, so I didn't do this, but lots of kids in high school in the US do have cars. And if I hadn't lived so close to the school, I probably would have taken a school bus every day. But again, because I live close, I was able to walk. Also, leave a comment and let me know 1, what country you're from, and 2, how most kids get to school in your country. So yeah, nothing super exciting here, but I thought some of you just might be interested in seeing what a US high school looks like, especially the one that I went to. Also, when I went here, there were 4,000 students. So I want to know another thing in the comments, and that is how many students were in your high school? Also, I'm going to have to stop right here for one moment because my camera falls over and I have to pull into a parking spot and fix it really quickly. Now I'm going to take you back out of the parking lot and onto another one of the major highways that leads back towards my neighborhood. However, there's nothing super interesting to see, it's just a big highway that runs in 2 directions, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and just show you what the area where I live looks like. So yeah, this isn't the exact neighborhood that I live in, but it's pretty close and they look quite similar, so this should give you a pretty good idea of what the neighborhood that I do live in looks like. And I'm not going to show you too much more because everything is really just going to look the same. It's small roads, houses, and cars. But if you have any questions, make sure to let me know. And if you enjoyed this type of video, please also leave a comment and let me know about that as well. Thank you for watching.